Hey, welcome back. This is now issue 107 of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. So, hopefully this issue is going to be a little bit less stressful than 106. We're going to be finishing off one of the sides of the flux bands at the rear with the metal trim and everything and the framework. So without further ado, let's go down, we'll check off the parts and we'll get building. Okay, so here we go. So this is issue 107. And as you can see, we've got the framework there for the flux band. So it's all in a plastic package, and here are the parts. So we've got okay, this is 107B. Okay, this is 107C. And we've also got 107A and 107D. Now these are slightly different. I'm just trying to work out which way they are, because on the magazine these look flat and they're different because they've got different curves in them. So looking at them, this is 107A, I believe, because you've got the two what look like locating pins at the bottom there and a larger gap here, and I'm guessing this is going to be 107D because you've got the locating pins at the bottom but you've got the larger hole there at the top. So I think that's the way it goes. We've got lots of AP screws in here, and we've got IP screws as well. Okay, and then we've got these grills here, and they are marked on here. So you've got 107H, 107F, 107G, E and I. Okay. So first step we're going to do is we need to get the car up. So I'm going to put these all up here in their order. And we're going to be working on the driver's side of the vehicle. Okay, I'm going to take this tape off because we don't need that on now. That's what I put on last time to line these up. Okay, so what it wants us to do is basically roughly put these in their channels. And obviously they're not going to actually stay put at the moment until we've got the framework in. So just roughly put them where they need to be. And then we can work around that as we progress. So we want 107A first. And yeah, again, I think there might be a slight typo in the magazine because 107, according to the first page, this I thought was 107A, and I'll show you why. See 107A there, you've got the locating pins at the bottom, and then you've got two more cross bits there. So that to me looks like that's 107A, and then 107D, this part here, you've got the locating pins at the bottom and then one cross bit. Yeah? However, this is where it gets interesting. When you flick the page over to the first step, it says 107A. That's only got the one cross bit across. That doesn't look the same. The locating pins are at the top, so even if I turn that round, see, it doesn't match. So I think they are actually referring to this part here, which is 107D on the first page. Okay, so I'm going to go with that. Okay, so just be mindful of that. So we're just going to pop that in. Like so. Obviously the flux bands are underneath, so that's just going to sit in there like so. And then we're going to then put the next piece on, which is 107B, which does look correct. I see, and you've got a locating pin just on there, which is going to go in that top hole. So it might be best to remove that for now and place that in. Okay, I've got quite a lot of burring, or whatever you call it, from that, so I'm just going to get my blade and just cut that down a bit. It's just where the holes have been drilled, and we've been left with plastic. Okay, so there we go, it's a nicer fit. So then we're going to plug that in. And then push all them into place. Might need some tweezers for this if I can find them, just to line the fibre optics up. Okay, this is very fiddly because you want to get them both in, but evenly as well. It's a shame this flux band isn't quite just a little bit thicker. Because then you could actually clip them in before you fit this part without relying on that to do the job for you. Wow. Okay, this is officially fiddly. Okay, I think that is all in. The best it's gonna go. Oh, and it's just popped off. Okay. Let me just have a little look. Press part 107E out. Right, so let's get this part out. So this is 107E, which is this middle one here. So just give that a bit of a twist. That's going to go in, that's going to slot in up there. Right, let's get the first screw in and see how that goes. So we're going to use IP screws for this. Okay, so that is one screw home. I think we'll just do it bit by bit using tweezers. I think that's going to be the best option. Okay. That doesn't want to go in. We use a different screwdriver head. It did work the first time, but okay, so let me just have a look at this. Yeah, I see. Right, okay, my fault. I haven't done it wrong as such, but we want AP screws first. That makes sense. You want to put AP screws in the second holes down here, and then that secure that to the frame to stop that moving about. Okay, so that's one in. Okay, so that's two in. So they are in as they should. Then we go back to the IP screws at the top. So obviously I've done one. There you go, that's gone in now. Okay, so that's what we're left with. We are then going to put 2 more IP screws in on the next holes down. So that's 1. And 2. Okay. Then we want 2 AP screws again for this bottom one. But before we do that, we then want part 107F, which is the corner piece which is this part just here. So this is where we really need to sort out these cables here, because we need to get them through. So I'll put them through there first, and then we'll put that corner piece on. This is directional, and then we use AP screws to fix that to the frame. Okay. We then want IP screws in the next holes along. So I'll do that now. That's one in. So again, you're going to need some patience for this. Right, now we need to get the rest of this in. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to again get the next piece, which is this one, 107C. And then place that. Again, you've got a locating pin just on there that'll go into that hole just on there. So once we've got all that lined up, there we go. Oh, okay, then we're going to want, it's asking us to put the okay, let's do this bit first. So now we need 107H. Okay, and that is going to be affixed onto this corner here. And it wants us to put that in with IP screws first. Not AP this time. I would have thought AP would have been better first. Just keep that secure, but it's asking us to put IP in, so we'll do that now. So that's one. Two. Okay. Next we need to put in 107G. So that is this part here on the left, 107G. So I'm just going to twist that out. Carefully. And that is going to go along this centre part here. Okay, and then we're going to put in AP screws in the first and last holes. So AP in here, where the black fixings are, we're going to use AP screws. So I'm just going to put one in that side and one in the other side, just to keep it all steady. And that's wanting to come apart in the middle, but we can sort that in a moment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get an AP screw and secure the join, which is just here, because that's wanting to pop out because it's under some tension now. So there, IP. So AP, IP, IP, AP. I'm going to put another AP in this side that I missed out. And then I'm just going to loosen those again. Then I'm going to get the last IP screws in, just in here. Okay, and then that is that middle section done. Okay, so then what we need to do is put the last bit in. So we've got the plastic, so let me just readjust the camera. And I'm just gonna, I failed to spot the debris there. Okay. So we've got the locating pins that are going to go in these two holes down here. And then we're just going to line that up, pop that down into the locating peg. Like so. And then we want to take the last, obviously we want the last part, which is 107I, and then we're going to secure all that down. So the pointed bit will go down at the bottom there. Okay, so the first thing to do is we want some AP screws. And we're going to fix the AP screws into this black bracket here. Okay, so line that up. So that's one in. It's a little bit awkward because they don't quite line up. Obviously there's a lot going on. There we go, so I'm just going to leave them loose for a moment. Okay, then we're going to go down to the next set of screws. It wants us to then put the AP screws in. Down here on the next lot of bracket, the next black bracket. Okay, then we're going to put IP screws in on the join, which is not lining up at all at the moment. So I'm just going to loosen them off again. It's difficult for you to see, but can you see how they're not lined up at all? Okay, yeah, that's not happening. Let's just push the back out. So what I'm going to do is remove these AP screws here again, because I found I had a better line up within they weren't there, but obviously the the risk is that won't then line up, but I think it would be easier to line that up than this join. Okay, so that's one in. Two. Okay, there we go. So then we can get the APs in. Yeah, this is quite a little mission this has turned into be. Okay, and then the last two holes are IP screws. So hopefully you can see that okay. And the last screw going in now. Brilliant. Woo! And that is that. Sweat over. Now that is quite difficult, and it's not the best result in the world. You don't even see the foil or this metal. It doesn't quite sit right. Especially on this corner. Don't know if you can see that. Let me just adjust my focus. Can you see how bowed out that is? It doesn't sit right. I'm just going to tighten those back up because I think I loosened them, didn't I? Yeah, that's all tight now. You know, it's bowing out a little bit. There's not really a lot I can do about that. I think it's just the way it's designed. And I've just noticed I've got some of this. There we go. So, let's turn it on. And see what it looks like. Terrible. Look at that. Absolutely terrible. There we go. Where's my tweezers? That's sticking out too much. It needs to go up there. Yeah, look at that. That is not very good at all. That is worse than the bumper. It doesn't even alight in the middle really at all. So yeah, that's really disappointing. Really disappointing. Now the front I wasn't too bothered about, but that is just shocking, isn't it? Definitely worth EL wire, I think, on that. Which might be a mod I do later on. I'm not going to do it at the moment, but yeah, like you can see, it's just not getting the light at all here. Which is interesting because when it had its launch, this was bright as anything. So I reckon they must have used the EL wire just to sell it, because there's no way it looked like that I think if it looked like that on launch, on the launch video I saw, I reckon a lot of people probably wouldn't have bought this. So yeah, it is very disappointing when you're spending over £1,000 on it, and then we get quality like that. That is just, you know, it's nice and bright underneath, but it's got quite a lot of curves and things to get through. So by the time it comes up here round this curve, it's lost all its light. Okay, so yeah, that was issue 107. Again, as I say, I'm really disappointed with the way that's turned out. That is horrific. So I think I'm definitely going to have to look at getting some EL wire for the back at some point, but I'll do it later on, possibly after the build. I'll when it's all complete, I'll have a look over it and see what needs changing and what doesn't. And I suppose if I'm going to do the rear ones, the rear bands, I'm going to have to do the front again. But that was issue 107. Next week is issue 108, and we'll be doing the other side. Basically, what we're doing, what we did this week, but we're mirroring it on the other side. You need a lot of patience. I'm pleased that side's done. Just be extra vigilant on what screws you're using, because it jumps between AP and IP. I think the rule of thumb is the AP screws go through into the plastic mounts that we screwed on around the bodywork, and the IP just goes through the actual the metal grille, and that's it. So yeah, until next time, please like, share, subscribe. If you wish to buy me coffee, there is a link in the description below. But until next week, take care, bye bye.